Hey guys, this is Blaze.
And this is Rob,
Welcome to the Hot Trades Podcast,
episode one.
episode one. So Rob and I spent a lot of time. Most of you guys are familiar with who we are. That's Robert, the amazing developer of the Bull Bear Algo, the most amazing indicator out there. So we're used to streaming, and we provide a lot of educational content, which most of you guys are aware of. And we have a lot of private conversations like these, about the markets and this and that. So we figured, why not turn these into a podcast, which is what we are going to focus on. So the way these things are going to work is we will hit on specific topics. So if you ever feel like there's a topic that you're interested in, please feel free to leave it in the comments. And that might be the next video. So today we're going to focus on market psychology, right? Market psychology is huge. As you can see by this little pie chart, psychology takes up about 60% of your trading, right? Followed by position sizing and a winning system, right? So we wanted to focus on the biggest issue, for traders. So again, today that's going to be market psychology. Alrighty, Rob, what do you think about like market psychology in general, and what are some of the common mistakes that people make when it comes to the market in terms of psychology?
Yeah, I think actually one of the biggest mistakes is not having a plan, which brings like another topic that we have to talk about, and it's the emotions, bringing emotions into the trading.
Mhm.
That's why actually when we made the indicator, it was more to focus more on trying to be very see certain signals, certain things I'm looking for, and then go in
Yeah,
and not be so emotional about it. So I would say that part of the issue that they have that everyone has is not having a plan when you get in, because that's like I would say the root of it all, because
yeah,
once you get in to a
yeah,
trade, right, and then
yeah,
I guess we'll talk about that now, but once you get into
yeah.
a trade and you're like, okay, what do I do now? It's
Exactly.
either going against me or it's going
Exactly.
my way, but now am I gonna get out here, or am I gonna where am I gonna put my stop loss, all these things. And then
Exactly.
the adrenaline starts pumping, you're sweating, all these things are happening,
Exactly.
and you mess up probably a good trade, or you
Exactly.
stay too long in a bad trade. So
Exactly. It's amazing how those two things work together, though, like emotions and not having a plan. You might just feel like trading in general is emotional, which it is. But I think that kind of that stems from like not having that plan. It's easier to have a plan and take a position and then say, you know what, this was my plan initially. Like I got into this trade because of this, and here's my stop loss, here's my potential take profit target, right? If you go into a trade without having that plan, when things go against you, like just things, anything happens that wasn't a part that isn't working in your favor, you're staring at you're like a deer staring at the headlights, right? You're just not sure what to do, right? So not having a plan is a big issue, right? So and we will really dig deep into that as the podcast goes on. So I think the what's the I think your third point.
for emotions,
Yeah,
yeah, not having a plan, emotions, and then so I guess it everything stems from those two things, right? So
yeah,
one of the biggest things, and I'm pretty sure when I say this, you're gonna go like, "Oh my God, we've all done
yeah,
it," and
yeah.
is why is it that traders get in a trade,
Hmm.
and then when it's going their way,
Hmm.
they get out really soon. They get out really quick and they take profits quickly.
Yep,
Or when it's going against them,
yep,
they either move their stop loss, move
yep,
more down, and they just stay in a trade longer. And then they're seeing that thing like going against them, and they stay in it and they stay in
yep,
it. So why
yep,
is it that traders stay in losing trades longer, and then
yep,
winning trades they get out shorter? You know what I
yep,
mean? That
yep.
that's that I think that's a big thing that we have to kind of like try to get to the root cause of that. Actually, my son is studying psychology.
Hmm.
I he's not, he sees me with all these numbers and trading and all that. He's like, yeah, I'm, he's not into it, but
Yeah,
I mean, I have him investing and stuff, but
yeah,
I kind of sat down with him the other day and I told him I want to sit down with you and I want
yeah,
to tell you the things that traders do,
Yeah.
and please tell me like what terms, like what psychological, or you might find something like a psychological term that falls into. So I think
Hmm.
that's gonna be something that I'm gonna work on, Blaze, and then we'll put it in the Discord for everyone to see and stuff, because it will be so good to see like a person that's studying psychology.
Yeah.
What do they think about what do they think about when
Yeah.
we tell them those common mistakes? Now, I will tell you one thing that he told me. He
Yeah.
tells me, you know what, that he's in an internship now with
Mhm.
working somewhere, and they told him most most psychologists sometimes when they leave the field they go into
Mhm.
finance. They,
Finance?
I
Interesting.
had no idea they go into finance and into financial advising.
Hmm.
They start studying more into finance, and it makes
Hmm.
so much sense because they're going to be people like black and white, like you have to do
Hmm.
this, you have
Yeah.
to do this so you can get these results,
You
right?
know what's interesting, Rom?
What?
I asked you to watch this show like a year ago, and I don't think you have yet.
Billions.
It's called Billions, isn't it? So there's
There's a
this
new
lady.
the new season just came out, and I don't want
Really?
to see it until I see the first one. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So there's a lady in the lady. Her name is Wendy Rhodes, and she works for like one of the biggest investment firms. But her job is to get people's minds right,
Hmm.
and that's it. Like just psychological, right? So because that's again that's a big issue. So she works with them, and then they become really really good. So you're gonna have to watch that show.
So actually, that's such a good point, Blaze, because and I think that's the point. We got to get in the right mindset because
Mhm.
it's kind of like this is money, and everybody's afraid, of losing money and all this stuff.
Yep.
And then so this is something. Actually, let me give you an example. When I started trading, that I got more into like I wanted to learn options.
Yep.
Um, when you get into certain like simple options like a call or a put,
Hmm.
you already know what's your what are you going to lose, right? So if it's
Yep.
a
Your
hundred
max loss.
dollar
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
right, you're going to lose $100. So
Yep.
that's the most you can lose, so you feel kind of in a way, so it's psychological, right? Because you're saying I'm going to lose $100. I'm willing
Yep.
to lose it, but
Yep.
I'm not in it to lose it, but I'm going to make, I want to make money, but I'm willing to lose it, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's why I would say that I think it was what 90% of options contracts uh,
Hmm.
uh, expire worthless, right?
Yep.
Because people are expecting. Look at this. They're
Yep.
expecting to lose, or they
Yep.
they already kind of like put in their mind.
Yep.
If I lose $100, it's fine. I'll
Yep.
lose $100, and I used to do that when I
Yep.
got into futures.
Hmm.
I I have to mitigate my loss, right? My risk.
Yep.
But then it was like, why am I not willing to risk $100 in a futures trade, but I am willing to lose it in an options trade? I mean, it
Yep.
doesn't make any sense
Nope.
because in a futures trade, I know where my
Yeah.
targets are. If I'm getting in right, I'll
Yep.
know where my targets are, and I can make 2 3 times that, right?
Exactly.
But then I get out quick because I used to get. I'm like, no, I don't want to lose not even $50 or whatever, but I'm willing to lose. I would
Yeah.
actually. I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw myself there. I'm gonna be very transparent. I
Yeah.
would options,
Yeah.
and I would put an options play on, and then I'll keep trading over here, practicing futures at that moment, and I wouldn't care, like whatever. So I'm over here trading, and I'm like, just whatever happens with the,
Yeah.
and hopefully it goes my way, or I'll get out a little sooner, or I'll put a stop loss here or there. But
Exactly.
more, I was more loose with the stop losses and the options plays. Obviously, I
Hmm.
wasn't doing zero DTE or nothing, anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was still kind of like it's so cycle. It's like you set yourself up to fail, and then you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It's like you do it, like, well, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that has to do a lot of it, and if and I think if anybody could get something out of this podcast today is get your mindset right. That's why sometimes we tell new traders,
Hmm.
paper trade, get
Yep.
used to
Yep.
paper trade, get used to it, get used to maybe get used to having a plan. I tell
Hmm.
the team in the futures channel all the time. They must get tired of me hearing this. I always say when you get a plan is if this then that, if
Exactly.
not then what.
Exactly.
So if it's gonna
Exactly.
do that, I'm expecting it to do this, then what am I gonna do? But if it
Exactly.
doesn't do that, then what am I gonna do? Right. So you gotta have
Exactly.
that mindset in your head. If you
Yeah.
want, whoever's watching, write it down, put it on your desk in front of you. If this, then that. If not, then what?
I
Before
like that.
getting
I like
before getting in a trade, because just that alone, I'm willing to
Mhm.
take this, this risk, and
Exactly.
go for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and it's yeah. So anyways, I don't want to talk too
Yeah,
much.
and I think like questions like that are really important. Again, like we talked about how like like psychology is huge, but a big part of that is just emotion, right? So I think we as humans hate to lose anything. Like losing anything is hard, whether like it's money or like it's like you go through a relationship breakup, like like it's really painful. Like anything you lose is really hard. So like I think as humans we've been wired to not want to lose anything, right? But this is a game that you almost have to expect to lose. Like it's okay to lose, right? I've seen a crazy stat, something like some of the best traders ever have a winning rate of 20%, which is ridiculous.
That's
Like if
ridiculous.
you tell someone that you're gonna do this and you're gonna win 20% of the time, they're gonna say, "Yeah, no thanks, I don't want to do that." Right?
Right.
So you know what I mean?
But now think about it.
Yep.
It's and for everyone, that 20%
Hmm.
um winning rate,
Hmm.
the I would say the percentage of gains is higher, right? So
Exactly.
so it's a
Exactly.
law of percentages. You can have
Exactly.
you can lose 10 trades
Yep.
with a stop loss of 2%. So that's
Yep.
20%, right?
Yep. Yep.
But then if you leave one trade,
Yep.
lose 20%, which I used to do,
Yep.
lose 20% in one trade, and then
Yep.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm not gonna trade
Exactly.
anymore. You know what I mean? But then
Exactly.
get in your head that if you trade, you put, and we're not telling everyone to put a 2% stop loss. We're just giving an
Yep.
example.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
you have a 2% stop loss. That's your the percentage you're willing to lose, which you should have your what they call your R factor, what you're willing to risk.
Mhm. Yep.
So that R factor is 2%, let's say. So
Mhm.
then you're saying, okay, out of that 2%, I have 10 trades in the day because I mean, 20% to lose in a day is a lot, obviously, but you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like you're
Mhm.
willing to lose 10% or whatever, let's say. Give an
Yep.
example, 10 trades. So that's five trades, 2%,
Mhm.
right? But you're giving yourself five chances
Exactly.
to make some money. But
Ex-
now this is the point. 2% stop loss, but your profit target is, let's say, double that,
Yeah.
4%, 5%, or whatever. So
Exactly.
you can lose two times,
Mhm.
win two times, but your two
Yep.
winners, you make double the money that you would have lost. You see, so
Exactly.
it's you have to put that in your mindset. You got to have it. You got to put it in front of you. And once you
Yep.
have it in front of you, you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be my plan. My stop
Yep.
loss is this, but it's a 2 to 1. So I can lose two, but to make, I mean, exactly, I can lose one to
Yep.
make two. So I'm gonna lose 2%. I'm risking 2% to make
Yep.
four. Right?
Exactly.
So every time I win, I'm making 4%. So that's why those 20% could be so much more than the
Yep.
80% that they lost. It should be
Exactly.
like, so they're losing 20%, they're losing 80% of the time, but their 20% is making their money back and more.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really interesting because I mean you think of like some of like from my beginning and like maybe your beginning and for most retail traders, all we spend a lot of time holding unnecessary bags. We get into positions and then next thing you know we're not cutting the positions because again we don't want to lose or we just we hope but I hope, right? So I hope this comes back. I hope this happens, right? It shouldn't be like that, especially again if it's an investment. Okay, that's completely different, right? When it comes to trading, you want to make sure that plan. And I think Rob and I for the most part agree that again psychology is huge, but the way you combat this is by again like that knowledge really important, right? So which is kind of what like we specialize in, which
Mhm.
is what our community is best at, providing knowledge, right? So again knowledge and the mindset, right? So you have to gain that knowledge, also you have to change your mindset. You can no longer stay in trades and say I hope this happens, right? I hope this happens. No, like that plan is really 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 important. So that's something that people have to come around to, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So we just mentioned all three things, but we're talking about it out of experience. And look, we're actually showing it. So it's the position sizing is basically that. That's another thing, right? So we're teaching people a winning system,
Yeah.
how to gain their edge, right?
Yeah.
They can gain their edge. They
Hmm.
can, they're gonna manage their positions correctly, right? By
Yeah.
putting their stop losses, they're mitigating the risk, all that stuff,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
still they can have a bad time because their psychology is going to always take them out. They're going to
Yep.
break their rules. They're going to
Yep.
break the rules. And I think, look, and I think if something were we want to accomplish in hot trades,
Yep.
that not only to blame the market makers, like, oh, they're out to get us and all this stuff.
Yep.
The market is algorithmic,
Yep.
right? I think I said that too. We were talking about that earlier. It's
Yep.
algorithmic, meaning that it's just looking for the right targets, right? It's looking for liquidity, right?
Yep.
And who are
Yep.
the ones they're creating liquidity, but we're the ones trying to get in it. And then all these people that are telling us that. So that's an jumping. I'm sorry, I jumped topic. It just came to my mind when you mentioned about like we get into these plays and we stay in them too long.
Yep.
Sometimes because somebody put something on Twitter, Blaze.
Yep. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Somebody put something on Twitter, or somebody said something, or this, or they said that, and then they're like, oh, like this AMC thing. You know what I mean? I even got caught in it. I say, well, I'll get some shares if this thing goes. If there's if it goes Moaz, then great. I made some money. If not, then whatever. But
Yep.
it gets to you. You kind of that FOMO aspect of it. You don't want to. Oh, which is another thing we have to talk
So
about.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Losing
Yeah.
out, it has to do a lot. But
Yeah.
going back to the topic, we have to start thinking like smart money, like institutional traders. If
Yeah.
there's something that we want to teach here, is that it's not just oh yeah, buy here, sell there, or just give a signal and then people buy wherever they it's
Yeah.
understand why you're getting in that trade, right? And I think
Exactly.
that's another reason that's another thing that why this market, the retail trading, is so difficult, because a lot of people are just looking to follow others or do others and not really putting in the time. So I
Hmm.
think that's another key topic, is putting in time and learning
Exactly.
technical analysis, being
Yep.
part of a group, you know,
Yep. Yep.
because I think I also heard that I think I saw that where we heard that at the retail traders, I think,
Hmm.
used to lose almost 90% of the time. Now it went down to like 60 something. And that's
Yep.
because of people like us, you know what I mean? To
Yep.
be honest,
Exactly.
you know,
Rob
no,
says to be honest.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying,
No.
like, Discord groups and all this stuff.
Yep.
A lot of people complain about all these
Hmm.
these different what is it those teaching that they put, and all these programs and all that stuff. But a lot of them, if you focus on them and you learn a winning system, it's gonna be
Yep.
you're gonna do good. At least you're gonna do a little better. But,
Exactly.
we have to all work together to do it. But I think we just have to think also like those, like smart money. They're not emotional. Those guys are like, I mean, I tell you, I had friends in Barclays and in other,
Yep.
that were market makers, and
Yep.
those guys are like,
Very
they're
disciplined.
nasty.
Very,
Yeah, I mean,
like,
but in a way, and nasty in the sense like like, oh, but this is happening. This is happening. So
yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
you just get out.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is not going to get. Or this is, then you should have known that. It's not like they're not like, oh man, Rob, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
They're just like, you should have known that. Then don't get in a trade, idiot. Like, do it. They're very and they're very disciplined. Yes,
Yep.
discipline is like so like, if you're not
Yep.
traders have to be disciplined.
Yep.
Have to be,
Yep.
because if not,
Yep. Yep. I mean, like I've spoken to a lot of people that have, like rules on the wall. Like you make so many mistakes, and at some point you have to write those rules down.
yeah,
Take a piece of paper and like write those rules on the wall or something. So every time you look at your computer or you're about to go into a trade, it's staring at you in the face. Like, hey, don't do this, stupid. You know what I mean?
I think I might
Speaking
have
of
still my
FOMO, exactly. Like speaking of FOMO, Rob mentioned FOMO, and kind of the biggest reason why people get into a trade, if you ask yourself, like, why do I get into a trade, the biggest reason that will come up for most people is FOMO. You're just scared of missing out on the potential profits, right? So fear of missing out, fear is kind of the leading factor, right? So when it comes to psychology, either fear of missing out or just fear of losing a lot of monies, right? So, and again, like that all can be mitigated by just simply having a plan, honestly, which is kind of what we keep going back to, which is fairly simple, right? So just having that plan and sticking to it. Rob mentioned how, like, again, like institutional investors are very like mathy, right? For lack of a better term. right? You have to be that way as well, honestly, right?
Right.
So you need that plan. You have to stay disciplined, right? So, and you want to have that plan before you go into a position, right? So this is my plan for this trade. If this isn't working, okay, I'm going to do this. It shouldn't be up to someone on Twitter, right? It's not up to someone on YouTube, right? Your decisions shouldn't be based on someone's price projection. Like, I'm getting into this trade because so and so said on Twitter or YouTube that this stock is going to go to the moon, right? That's not a
Right.
plan, right? That's hope. And that will lead you into, I mean, it's led me to trouble. I have a lot of experiences like that, like I look at this, way back. This was like 10 years ago. You watch these videos and someone says, oh, this stock is going to skyrocket because of this. Or, you get an email newsletter saying, oh, this stock is going up 1,000% because of this, right? But then if you actually just pay attention to the technicals, right, you look at the chart, that thing doesn't look good at all, right? So again, this whole like little circle chart, it's going to be a combination of like all of these things, and we will talk about them as time goes on. You know what I mean? Rob,
Hmm.
speaking of, like, I don't know if you can give an example of like your plan going into a trade, right? So when you take a position, right? So like what's your thought process, from a psychological point of view, and maybe a bit of technicals as well. Like,
Hmm.
what's your process when you're looking to get into a trade?
Okay. So I would say I'm whoever knows me. I think that's why this is
Yeah,
that warrior there. I love data,
yeah,
and I have to make sure that the data is in front of me. Like I need to see the technicals, right?
yeah.
And so I study the chart.
Hmm.
I'm focused on market structure, price action, and I'm a
Yep,
supply and demand trader. So I'm just focusing on supply and demand. Why? Because that's where what the market is doing. It's looking for
yep.
supply. It's creating supply and demand zones
Hmm.
based based off of the market structure that they're creating right in the
Yep,
day. So I'm
yep,
just looking at those. And this is something that we're going to continue to teach in the Discord, and
yep.
we're looking for those areas, a break of structure, a change of character in certain
Hmm.
areas, and then we have an indicator that is looking for that, is doing those things for you in a way, so
Yep.
so it can make it a little easier for me. That's why I created it, and then once I find it, now I know where I find the stop loss that I'm willing to take. So my stop losses honestly are very they change, right? So if I'm
Yep.
I'm on the ES, I'm on a bigger contract,
Yep.
it's if it goes against me quicker, I'm gonna lose more money, so I make a tighter stop loss. But if I'm really like if I have confluence, I talk a lot about confluence. If
Yeah.
I have more than three, more than three indicators that are telling me like there's confluence in the trade, I feel super confident. I'll
Yeah.
put a bigger stop loss because I know even if it goes against me a couple of ticks, I'll stay
Yeah.
in the trade because I know at some point it's gonna go, to that
Yeah.
area of supply that I
Yeah.
wanted to go to if I'm in a demand zone. So I
Yeah.
focus on that. I focus on how confident am I? How confident am I? Have I
Mhm.
seen this pattern before? Is it
Yep.
something very, is it something like that I'm seeing a lot? Because that's another thing. We have to, it comes to you. It's kind of like when you play sports, like
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of basketball, you play soccer,
Yeah.
like it comes to a point where you're like somebody's coming at you and you'll do a spin move. And then after you spin, you're like, I just did it. It was like muscle memory. Like you just did
Yeah.
it, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you see that when you're trading, you see certain patterns, certain things occurring, and you do it, right? You're waiting for it. You get it. Now, the thing is that we're never 100%, right? You're never 100% sure. So what you do is you mitigate your risk with your stop loss, and then I just get in it. And once I'm in the trade, I used to move the stop losses. I stopped
Mhm.
doing that. I got
Yep.
out. It stopped me out. Guess what? It messed up. Do I have another chance? Maybe I'll get
Yep.
back in the trade.
Yep.
That's it. I'll just pay a little more commissions on it, but it doesn't matter because I got back in the trade knowing that now it's going my way. And
Exactly.
then I learn from it. Like every day, I journal my trade. So like, okay, why did I get in again? So what did I
Mhm.
do the first time wrong? When I
Yep.
got in too early. Why did
Mhm.
you get too early? Because I got anxious. I saw it like I wanted to front run a move,
Yep.
and what am I doing if I'm front running, Blaze?
Cheating.
I'm cheating.
Cheating is what you're doing. So don't cheat.
Correct. So we have to wait for that confirmation, right? Or at least that's what we're teaching. We have to wait for sometimes. hey, we want to front run, try to get the most we can out of a trade. I'm never going to say that we're not going to do that, but most
Mm.
of the time we shouldn't. We have to teach the right way and always wait for that confirmation. And then so that's what I do basically. I just make sure I look at the technicals. Everything is the technicals. What are my
Yeah.
indicators saying at the moment,
Yeah.
and what is price action doing at the moment? And I'm
Exactly.
always looking left. Left
Yeah.
meaning the past. What did it do in the past? Like,
Yeah.
did it break that structure? Is it, what the last time it got here? Did it bounce? Did it not? Did it take
Mm.
liquidity? All these things like that. So
Mhm.
technical analysis to me is everything based. That's why
Yep.
the other day you were saying, I think in a live, you were
Yep.
showing something that happened, and then it respected the technical analysis, right? And you loved it. And I think I wrote to you, that's why we're brothers, because it's like you
I
see that
sounded like, yeah.
when you see the market doing
Yep.
respecting that, those particular things, it makes you feel confident that this is not luck. This is something that you study, that and the market moves in patterns. It moves, it always does the same thing every day. It's always doing the same thing almost every day. We just got to find that right pattern to get in. You know what I mean? And but when you do that, you see, so what are we talking about there? We're talking about, we're getting our headspace. We feel confident because we're getting into something that we know we studied already.
Yeah.
We know that there's going to be two outcomes. It's either going to go against me, or it's
Yep.
going to go where I want it to go. You know what I mean? Or where I'm
Exactly.
thinking it's going to go.
Exactly.
So I just
And
let
when
it
it
go.
doesn't go with you, you just, again, you just execute the other plan, right?
Correct. That's it.
And
That's it.
it's nothing against you. It's not a market maker fighting against you.
It's
Well,
not.
in some cases, yes, it is. But again, like
Those
that's
wicks that take you out, of course, but what are
exactly,
the wicks doing? So those are the things we teach, right? What are the
exactly.
wicks doing? They're taking out liquidity. They're not saying Blaze is there and everybody's there waiting for, let's take them out. They're just grabbing liquidity. They're saying, "Oh, you wanna sell this, or you wanna go?" So I'm okay. Go ahead. I'll take your
Yep.
thing, but then I'm going the other way. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
they grab liquidity and then they leave, and they leave. So those are the things that we have to learn.
Yep.
So when we get in those trades, we feel even better about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So a
Yep.
lot of I think it comes with experience too. But
It
we have
does.
you have to study. Like when you're learning
Yep.
trading, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yep.
Like this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
It was points. There's a person that's in our Discord that he's been struggling a bit, but I think it's more psychological than anything.
Yeah.
And I kind of like wrote to him on the side, and I told him I'm going to be very transparent with you, and I'm gonna throw myself out there. There was one day, Blaze, that I actually got in my room and I cried because like I was so pumped to keep learning how to trade, and I wanted to trade, and I wanted to, and it kept going wrong for me, and I kept losing, and it kept going wrong for me. And then there were days I did really good, and I got so confident, and then I would just lose it all. Why? Because I risked more. I would stay in the trade longer, and then I would lose everything I made in the beginning of the week, and it would usually happen on Fridays. So then Saturday and Sunday, I'm screwed. I'm like, I come into Monday like defeated. See what I'm saying? So I actually cried. I went into my room. I was like, God, like, is this not for me? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe this is not for me. And
Yeah.
I think everybody's been maybe I'm more emotional than others, but I got ready because this is like, man, I want this to work. This is going to change my life. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
working for so many others. And if they can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? So I told them that, and I hope it, and whoever is hearing this, you're not alone. If you're getting frustrated and all that, just practice a lot of charting,
Yeah.
watch the charts. Even if you don't trade, I stopped after that time. I think I stopped trading for a month or something like that. But I
Yep.
was always looking at the charts and oh, this is, I would get in here, or I would get out there, or I would even paper trade or do something like that just to,
Yeah.
and then, and it comes to a point where it clicks. But I think that, and again, this is where the psychology comes in.
Yep.
You think you know, but
Yep.
you don't. The more you learn, you
Yeah.
realize how less you know, how much you didn't know. You know what I mean? So when
Exactly.
it starts clicking for you, then you go, "Holy my God,
Yep.
this is it's I can't
Yep.
believe I didn't see it before." Or another thing is, we're seeing so many people making so much money.
Yep.
They're like, they're making money, so I want to get in. And I want to be, easy money, and all that stuff is
Yep.
not.
It's
It's,
easy. Yeah. It's
so
yeah. That's a really interesting story because like I don't think people quite like understand how like emotional it can be, like all of this. right? So I mean, you tell that story, but there are times where, like, I've made a trade, and then it's gone like horrible, it's just wrong. And like I will sit on the ground and then like put my hands on my head. I'm like, what is going on? Like this.
You get pissed off at yourself too. It's like so many things. So you're like, why did I do that? So then you
Exactly.
look back and then you look at you say, I should. I keep telling myself, do not get in a trade if it's or do not do this or do not do that, and I still do it. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So why do I keep doing it? Like, why? And
Yeah.
those are whatever it is that you're doing,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is that you keep doing. So what is that? It's bad habits, right? We're getting bad habits.
Yep.
Whatever habit you have, let's they say one bad habit is moving your stop loss after you got
Yeah.
in. You
Yeah.
move it a little more. You move it a little more. Instead
Yeah.
of moving it up because you're in a winning trade, you're moving it down, giving
Yeah.
them more money. You're
Yep.
basically, "Hey, $20 more, 20 bucks. You're
Yep.
giving them more money. No, just get out. Like,
Yep.
just get out and start over, and that's it. And you're even gonna have there's
Oh,
gonna be something in
exactly.
your brain that's gonna help you. I
Exactly.
think we were talking about that in
Yeah.
our live in the Discord. We
Yeah.
were telling someone that had a winning trade,
Yeah.
and then they would see it going. They would see their, they made maximum profit. Let's say
Yeah.
it started
Yeah.
wicking. It started getting it started
Just
um
at the top, supply. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. It's in a supply zone. It's like
Yeah.
it's losing, people are selling. So now you're getting wick, and now you're seeing your profit, your
Yeah.
P and L going down a bit, going down a bit, and you're like,
Yeah.
should I get out now? Should I get out now? Should I get out now? And
Yeah.
then so those are the little things that even in winning trades, you have to know, take your
Yeah.
maximum profit, and then if it's going, it's going to go down. So wait,
Yeah.
go and buy again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But why are you buying again? Because
Exactly.
your overall plan, there's an uptrend. So you
Yeah.
know that at the market doesn't go like that all the time. It's always going to retrace and
Yeah.
then make a higher high, retrace
Yeah.
and make a higher high.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we have to learn, and and keep in mind and help each other with that too. I think part of the psychology is having a group like us,
Yeah.
that we can all help each other. You know what I mean? Oh, I went
Yeah.
through this, and everybody will tell you, hey, don't worry, we've been through that
Yeah.
before.
We've all been through it. Yeah. Exactly.
So
Exactly. Exactly. In conclusion, guys, again, as much as I'm sure there are more things we're going to talk about tonight, maybe. But like that you can see that green shaded part of the chart. Psychology is huge, right? But a lot of that gets taken away by simply just like getting that education, right? So again, whether it's education from like YouTube videos or reading books, or simply just having a community that's looking out for you, like a lot of that help takes away most of this, right? Which is really huge, right? So again, like people would much rather stay in a trade and lose more money than they're willing to take when it comes to profits. That's we've talked about that. That's a very common one, right? You should be getting rid of those positions that are not working immediately if you had that plan to get rid of them, right? And it's selling off because there's bad news, or because it's breaking below support, or because of this and this and this, right? You should act right away and say, you know what, this is not working the way I wanted it to work, so I'm going to get rid of it, right? And then vice versa, right? Again, like we talked about that stat, like 20% of like the best traders out there have a win rate of 50% lower, right? It's like no one's winning all of the time, like nobody is, right? The big difference here though is like these guys are willing to manage their trades if they're not working, right? They will get rid of bad trades immediately if they're not working, right? Those losses are so much smaller than the wins are, and that's something that people have to really become comfortable with. Like it's okay to lose, and you will lose, that's part of it, right? It's just how you lose, right? Managing your losses, that's it, right? And then when it comes to taking profits, right, let those winners run a little bit longer, right? And we can kind of touch on how you would play maybe a winner. Maybe that's something Rob can actually touch on, right? Like if you're in a trade, Rob, and it's working out perfectly for you, how would you manage that?
all right, let me show you guys real quick.
Managing winning trades, guys, right? So there's so many ways, and again, like Rob is pulling up his chart, there's so many ways to look at this, right? Again, it will depend on your entry price. It will depend on the area of support. It just depends like what type of trader you are, right? So for me, I like to move my stop losses up. That's the way that I find that, I found that works for me. If I get into a position, my intention immediately is to look and say, okay, I bought at this price. This is support. I will set my stop loss below support. As we rally, right? I know that, again, I can either take profits at a resistance level by looking to the left, right? Or I will simply say, or I will simply say, you know what, like, okay, I expect the stock to go up, but it's not going to go straight up. It's going to come back down. So I will leave my stop loss at the initial price, right? But then as we test and we create higher lows, and as we create higher lows, I will simply just move that stop loss to, again, to the next support level, and then to the next, and to the next. Right, so you're risking a portion of that. You're risking a portion of your profit, but at the same time, you're hoping for more, right? And again, and I'm sure Rob has somewhat of a similar strategy because,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You see my screen?
yeah, I can see your screen.
So let's all right. This is the algo, and then we have supply and demand here. So
Yeah,
let's say I'm seeing this move down, right? I'm seeing the move down, and now it touched my demand zone. Look what it did.
yeah,
It's grabbing the demand that's there, and it's about to take off. So let's say I take my trade here, and it's on the way up, and I got in after the maybe this bar, the third bar, and I'm
yeah,
in, and I feel confident. Now I'm feeling even more confident, right? So
yeah,
once I'm in, what I tell the traders in hot trades in the Discord, I tell them, we always have to try to be on the right side of the trade, because
yeah,
once you're on the right side of the trade, your psychology totally changes, because now you're winning. Now you're
yeah,
winning, right? So now I usually wait a bit before moving my stop up when I'm
mhm,
feeling more so once I'm in, I have my indicators are all telling me, green, go, or doing good. Now I'm
yeah,
getting this cross here. I'm getting another bullish signal. So
yeah,
now when I get that bullish signal, I start moving it up, right? I
yeah,
start moving it up.
yeah,
Now I move it up usually to like at least the minimum at this point, so I can cover my commissions at that point,
yeah,
because I know we're still moving up, right? So now let's say I'm up, I'm it's moving up, but now it's retracing, right? It's retracing. But my overall plan is I know that this is going to continue, up to this supply
yeah,
zone, or maybe even this one,
yeah,
or this view app that I have there, right? I have targets, so I'm looking at my targets, right? So
yeah,
now I have this demand zone that was not taken out, so I still feel positive. I could have even left. I leave it right here just in case it comes right back down. Look what it did. It
yeah,
continued up. You see that? So I
yeah,
still feel comfortable. This is what I do, Blaze. If it comes up and it starts retracing and I'm still feeling confident, I wait for this retracement here. This is something that we'll do it. We'll cover it on another video. Why I feel even more confident, because the algo is telling me something, right? We're still, it's wicking. It's going. It's not breaking all the way through the 9 EMA that we teach in the kernel. So
yeah,
it's just wicking back up. I stay in this trade right now. I feel more confident now. I move that stop loss right here.
mhm,
Why? Because this is buy side liquidity. This is liquidity that was taken, right? So it's basically, that's why I keep saying look left. You see,
yeah,
it went up. Now I have my stop loss right there, right,
yeah, yeah,
right here.
yeah,
Now it continues to go. I'm in profit again. Whoop, I'm losing a bit. I hit a little supply zone. I'm losing a bit. It's
yeah,
coming in, but I still feel confident. But look at this.
yeah,
If I take it all the way across, it still hasn't hit my stop. Why? Because there's liquidity here. So it came here again and it went back up again. Now, usually when I see this, now the market's telling me it's stalling, maybe it's not doing much, so it's going sideways. I don't like that. So
yeah,
now what I'll most likely do is take profit. Once I
yeah,
see retracing again, I get this signal here, a bearish signal, I'll take my profit, or I'll just get out. And then
exactly.
look what it did. It hit my area, broke structure to the downside, and then
Hmm.
I would have been stopped out right there. You see what I mean? So
Exactly.
when I see this happening now, so this is called managing the trade. Now I'm managing the trade with no stress whatsoever, because no
Exactly.
matter what, I know I made profit. Even
Yep.
if it stops me out, it stops me out in profit, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Exactly.
but it's not gonna. So this is how usually retail traders think, and how
Hmm.
I used to trade, or I used to
Yep.
think. It's it's gonna come back down. Well, yeah, but I made minimum. You know what I mean? So what? You won. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You
Yep.
won, and guess what? Rinse, repeat. Wait again. wait again for
Exactly.
your next move, right? So here, this is like the end of the trading day. But if we go
Yep.
back, like let's say we go back, somewhere over here, you just start over again. I got
Yep.
in. Let's say I got
Yep.
in here.
Yep.
It went my way. It
Yep.
starts retracing here. I'm
Yep.
watching this zone. This is what I do. This is what I teach everybody. I start watching this zone because this is the first time it retraced. So now
Exactly.
it's retracing there. Now, when the next retracement comes, guess what, people? You don't have
Yep.
to be worried anymore because
Yep.
you know that there's liquidity here. There
Yep.
was buyers here. Now you put your stop loss here. You got in here in your
Yep.
signal, right? So obviously you got in here. Why? Because you did your plan, right?
Yep.
Everything went all the indicators came out what you wanted. It's green.
Yep.
The 9 is crossing the kernel. There's a bullish move up. It just bounced off the VWAP in this case. I'm
Yep.
feeling bullish. I'm in, right? So that was my
Yep.
plan. So now my plan is working. Guess what? It's already moving up. I'm feeling great now. I'm watching. I usually keep my hand on the
And
on
the,
order right here, like where
yeah.
my stop loss is, and I
Yeah.
usually be right here watching it, and then once it starts retracing a bit, that it does. I do like this, boop, and I grab it and I click it and I move it up because I trade off a trading view.
Yep.
So I just grab it and I move it up right there, boom. You see, since it leaves the line right across, I already know. I'll put it
Yep.
right there, boom. Now my
Yep.
stop loss. Now I feel even more confident. Now I'm managing the trade.
Yep.
Before, I was in good profit here. I might have said, you know what, I'm getting out.
Yep.
But in this case, I'm like, no, because now I'm feeling more confident. I'm already in. Now I let it go. If it would have retraced here and would have broke, then I lost. I mean,
Exactly.
it stopped me out, but it stopped me out in profit. I'm happy. I won a trade. Now I
Exactly.
just to repeat. Let's say it would have stopped me out, right? Let's say it would have stopped me out here. Then I just wait again. Let's see what happens. What could have probably happened here? So let me just give you a real quick scenario because this is how I would think, right?
Yep.
So let's say it broke structure and it stopped me out, right? But then
Yep.
I have a VWAP here. Guess what? Most likely, if the trend now is bullish, it'll do this now.
Of that. Yep.
And guess what? It came back into my zone. All right, which is how many people say it went, it broke, it took me out, and then it went my way. The right. So
Yep.
then that's fine. What do you do right here? Once it gets right back here again, once it gets right around here that you see a bullish move again, you could get right back in and
Exactly.
continue. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
wait for your confirmation. Maybe this would have been a confirmation here. Boom,
Exactly.
and then take it off, or you get right back in.
Yeah.
So I think that's a way to you have to managing the trade is so important. Don't
Yeah.
just take it to break even. You know what I mean? Take it to
That's
where that. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a perfect chart, Rob. Like, that's perfection. Again, looking from the very bottom there, and like it's always going to depend on like what type of trader you are, because some people just want to take their 5%, take their this, take their that, and leave, right? But if
That's
you're
fine.
really, yeah, exactly, right, and if you're trying to like if you're really trying to maximize your gains, you cannot you can look at the chart and say, okay, this is resistance, I'm going to take profits, right? But if you're truly paying attention to data, then you have to wait for that data to come in, right? In this case, you could see how we go up and then we retrace a little bit, we create a higher low, right? That's where your new stop loss goes, right? And then we go down a little bit again, and then we create another higher low. And then all of a sudden, the stock is exploding to new highs of the day. But at no point here from the bottom to the top did that stock look weak, right? At no point does it look weak. At every point, it's giving you a new base, and then people are taking profits. These are the people that are going to be complaining later, right? People are like, well, I sold it and it's going up. Well, that's
Well,
because again, like it had to retrace at some point, right?
since
Um,
we're here,
yeah,
let me show you something. Since we're
yeah,
here, this is the volume weighted average price, meaning that this is where mostly everybody is. They're happy with this price, right? Buyers. But this is also where people putting their stops and
yep,
other people putting their so what happens? Price dips in, grabs
yep,
liquidity through all this, stops out all these people, and then what does it do? Take off. This is something you're
exactly,
going to learn in hot trades if you
yep,
join hot trades, which I guess we'll plug that in later, Blaze.
yeah,
If they join hot trades and they're going to see that it's going to dip in, it,
yeah,
it looks like it's going under, but then it takes right back up. So that means that it's grabbing
exactly,
liquidity and it's going up. Now you feel more confident. But
yeah,
why am I feeling like this? Because
exactly,
I studied and I know that's what it's doing.
yep,
I'm not guessing. I'm not like, okay, what's green? I'm going or
yeah,
not. oh, now it's red. Oh no, and it's hitting this line and it's crossing the other one. No, I
Yeah.
understand what's happening in the market. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So obviously we don't. Nobody's comes into this knowing, and that's
No.
why getting part of a group like this helps.
Yeah.
And then just watching, and don't go in early with real money and just lose and then keep losing, and that's just gonna mess up your psychology. But going back to the topic here of managing that trade, so
Mhm.
you could feel psychologically better. I think I had told that the person in our Discord. I said, you get this move. Let's say they get this move, right? He was saying, and then I get this wick, and then I get
Yeah.
this wick. Should I get out? Should I get out? Right? I told
Mhm.
him I usually do that. Why? I see this huge wick. I know it's grabbing liquidity, so it can start stalling. So what I do, I take
Exactly.
maximum profits. I don't care if it continues higher. I
Yep.
took, you know why? I
Yep.
left that trade knowing that I got in down here. I got out
Mm.
up here almost when it was stalling, and I
Yeah.
feel so good because I got
Yep.
a winning trade and I took out the most at that leg, right?
Yep.
I took out the
Yep.
most, and now I'm not stressed out here with all this. I'm not
Yep.
stressed out, and then boom, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then here I'm waiting now. I'm seeing this going down, going down. I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I usually do that. I'll move it up. Guess what? This is the new
Yep. The new
higher low.
base.
Boom,
Exactly.
you moved up your stop loss. A new
Exactly.
base. Oh, like you
Mm.
say, a new base right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look at that. Look at how it respects it. Boom, boom,
Exactly.
boom, boom.
Exactly.
Guess what? Bam, takes off again. See, now a new base. Now here, obviously, once it crosses this now broke structure or it changed the character because it was a uptrend, and now
Mhm.
this is creating a downtrend. So now I'm just looking for shorts in the futures market, obviously in this market. I'm looking
Yep.
now for shorts because it broke my character from uptrend to downtrend. So now
Exactly.
I'm not doing this, and this is something we're also going to teach. Now you're not looking for longs, even though you have a supply zone up here. I'm not targeting that. You know why, Blaze? Because it broke character here. So now
Yeah.
the market is telling you, guess what? Now the market is telling you, guess what? I'm looking for liquidity down low
Exactly.
because all the
Exactly.
market is doing is looking for liquidity. Buy
Exactly.
low, sell high, and it's algorithmic. The algorithms are saying, okay, there's orders down there. Now let's start moving the market back down so I can grab that money
Exactly.
and buy down there and then go again. And then
Exactly.
you have to, that's what this indicator does. I want it to be as close as it can be to finding liquidity in the market. But anyways, that's
Yeah.
another topic. But
I know that's yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think by managing your trade in that way, it's gonna help you out so much. So many
Yep.
people just do this, and I think just to end that topic there, they
Yep.
they moved it up. Now they're here. They probably left the runner, and they
Yep.
said, "Okay, I'll leave it break even." Why? The market continues to create higher lows,
Yep.
so you move it.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? But they leave
Exactly.
it here at break even. I'll leave it break even. I never understood that. You're gonna
Yep.
just like
And then at some point,
yeah,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like if it creates a higher low, let that
yep,
be your
you
next
knew
target, your higher low,
exactly, exactly,
and then a new higher low, and then there.
exactly.
And, oh, but
Yeah.
then but okay, it came here, it broke through, it stopped you out. But guess what? It's not stopping you down here. It's stopping you
No.
out all the way up here. So you gave yourself some more profit.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And you won. Now you feel great for the next trade. And you also
Exactly.
are not playing with house money because let's say you made $200 on the trade. Now you're
Exactly.
willing to maybe risk a little more if the market is a little choppy or whatever. You want to risk a little more, and you also okay because you have $200. I'm willing to miss $50 on this trade. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Willing to make risk 50 to make 100. So
Exactly. Exactly. And-
that's by managing it like that, it's gonna
yeah.
help you psychologically. Now,
Oh, exactly.
when you get
Exactly.
into a trade because of fear, and I'm in like this, or I don't know, let's say I'm in. Let me give you an example right here.
Hmm.
Let's say right here, and I'm so scared. Right, I'm doing this. It's going choppy. First of all, you shouldn't be trading that. But let's say people are trading that it does this, and they put the stop loss like literally right there. So they're not giving them space. Why? Because you're afraid. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So if you're afraid, that's another thing. Then maybe don't get in that trade if you're that afraid. You have to work on that. You know what I mean? Because if
Exactly.
you're afraid, it's gonna kill you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Uh, you gotta keep looking left. See where's the last swing low, so you could put your stop loss if you can there, or as close as you can, so you can give yourself some room.
Exactly. Exactly. So like this question comes up quite a lot as we stream. People will often ask, like, like, where should my stop loss be, or is there a specific, number I should be using, like, is there a percentage I should be using? Again, like, in some cases, yes, like, I think we kind of recommend that, like, 7%, 7%, like, for stop losses, maybe 20% for gains. But like numbers, like I always have a hard time answering questions like that, because it's not that simple.
It's
You know
not.
what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
that simple. It depends on so much. And like Rob just explained, this is the go-to. Like, this is how you're planning your stop losses should be set, right? So hopefully
So
that
if
helps.
you do that, if you plan that, and you're noticing that that stop loss is going to be 10%, and your plan, I mean your strategy is always 2 to 5%
Mhm,
is my max stop
mhm,
loss, then
mhm.
you can't get in that trade.
Yeah,
You see that?
exactly,
You
exactly,
can't get in that trade. Oh, but
exactly,
I could have made so much money. Doesn't
ex-
matter. You
ex-
follow your plan, follow
exactly,
your strategy. It's you're
exactly.
gonna get another winning trade. I never understood that before trade.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry, I never understood that before, Blaze. It was
Yeah.
like there's always gonna be another trade. You're always gonna have another trade. I was like,
Yes,
no, I want it now. Like I want it now. No, like
exactly,
there literally is gonna be always another trade. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like, you
exactly,
just wait a little bit, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna set up again, and it might be even better than the last time. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
follow your plan, because then you're not. You have to be very very like what is it uh non-emotional, and it's hard. It's easier said than done, right? But
Yes,
as much
easiest
as
to
you can.
do.
I mean,
Yeah,
I pulled this up because you had mentioned something like that, and I pulled it up on my phone just to prove. Look at all
yeah.
these rules I gave myself a while ago. Tell me that's not crazy.
Exactly. Like, sometimes we
Hey,
just need to be reminded.
look, main mistakes I make and rules I am creating for myself to follow always. I'm not
Yep.
lying. Okay,
Yep.
or just a couple.
Yep.
Removing or changing stop loss.
Yep.
This is like old. This is notes that I have in my OneNote from old. I still have them.
Yeah.
Don't buy it high. So these are mistakes. So I put mistakes.
Yeah.
Removing or changing stop loss. Whoever is new here trading, tell me if
Yeah.
this doesn't happen to you.
Yep.
Removing or changing your stop loss.
Yeah.
Buying at highs, selling at lows. No patience with waiting for a trade.
Wow, my goodness, Rob. This is everybody.
When losing, I tend to overtrade,
Yeah.
which makes me lose more. These
Yep.
are all points I wrote. When I had a good gain or
Yeah.
reached my target, I continue to trade and lose the gains and then
Yep.
the loss.
Yep.
That's another one.
See, like, this is everybody.
If you have a target in the day, like my target is $200 a day to get
Mhm.
say a number, or if you're a high roller, then $1,000 a day or something.
Yep.
But then that's your plan. a
Hmm.
thousand bucks a day. You reach your 1,000 or 900 or 950, you're
Yep.
close. That's it. I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Why? Because this is a game of compounding. You want
Yep.
to compound those gains every day, every day, every day.
Yep.
So another one I have here when I had it, yeah. Price reaches my zone, either
Yeah.
supply or demand, and bounces, and I'm afraid. I
Yep.
don't take the play, and I usually lose my opportunity. How
Yep.
about that? Can I
Yep.
mention? I'm talking a lot, please. I'm sorry. Do you want
No,
to?
no, no, no. I'm loving this, Rob.
It's
I'm
coming to
loving
mind.
this, Rob. I
Huh?
know, I'm loving this. And Rob
Okay,
knows
okay.
I'm loving this because
Is that
I,
so many things are coming to mind? Look at one thing, and if I could say this, this is gonna be something that's gonna change your trading. Whoever's watching me, like
yeah,
1,000,000%.
yeah,
When you see your play, because you do have a plan,
yeah,
and you see it play out, if
yeah,
you don't do it at the moment,
yeah,
you're done.
yep,
You lost your opportunity. Don't chase it.
yep,
But most of the time, I've noticed that really, and you know where I've noticed this place in our teaching of our group
yeah,
with the people that I've noticed where the newer people that are trading really good are
hmm,
people that are getting into their plays, Blaze,
hmm,
with no fear. They see the signal and they
yep,
go.
yep,
They're not like they don't overthink it. They're like, what do I do?
yep,
You
yep,
know. I've noticed that every trader that's new, that
hmm,
is not afraid of getting into the trade,
yep,
and they get in almost like I would say, and this is gonna be maybe bold for me to say,
yep,
75% of the time they win the trade.
Yep. I
And
agree
I've
with that.
seen it, at least with the people that I'm following. I've
We,
seen
yeah.
that
Yeah.
even I say to myself, I overthought that trade.
Yep.
That person took it, and look at that.
Yep.
And I made the darn indicator. You know what I mean? And the indicator sometimes it's telling me certain things, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And the
Yeah.
person is like focused. They saw they had the plan, they
Yeah.
execute. And every
Exactly.
time they executed, they had the plan, they did it, and it worked. So
Exactly.
that's something really huge
Yep.
in my trading career that I've learned.
Yep.
You got to take it when you see it. As
Yep.
long as you have the plan, right? Take
Yep.
it when you see it.
Exactly.
You missed it.
Exactly.
You missed it. Don't chase
Exactly.
it, because now you're getting in a lot. Now you're buying higher. Are you
Exactly.
like I talk a lot about in our calls? Are you gonna
Mhm.
buy Jordans at $500? Or are you gonna buy them there at $200?
Yep.
Well, now they're 500. I might lose my opportunity. I'm gonna get it at 500, dude.
Yep.
Like, are you gonna spend $300 more for
Exactly.
like, wait for price to get back to your zone. You know what I mean? Oh, I have
That
so many there. Maybe I could share it one day. I have
Yeah,
so many
I
there.
like that list because like that list, you look, you read out a few points already, and that's everybody in the market. You know, like it's wild. So yeah, I like that list actually.
I trade when it's choppy.
Yep.
Listening to so many people and strategies and get screwed up in the noise.
I like that a lot. Rob, you know what? Keep going. Like let's go
Can you
through
keep
the
going?
list.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
When I try to guess breakouts
Yep.
and get in early without confirmation.
Yep.
That's a front run.
Yep. That's
Um,
cheating.
Yeah, that's cheating. You see, at that time, I didn't even, when getting in a play, I don't get in on a new candle. Oh, this was so good, actually. I forgot about that. When getting in a play, I
Yeah.
don't get in on a new candle. I get in after I lose. So, in other
Yeah.
words, the I'm getting in, like, I'm seeing the candle going,
Yeah.
right? And I get in that candle going, like in the momentum,
Yeah.
when I'm not
Because
waiting for my confirmation of the new
exactly,
candle, the new higher high, let's say,
exactly,
or a wick,
exactly,
and for a takeoff. As something I
exactly.
used to always do. I would
Yeah.
wait for the candle to reach the top, and I would
Yep.
buy at the top, Blaze. And then the next candle was like, boo, it would drop. You know what I mean? Hopefully,
Yep.
that's helping someone. I would do
Yep.
that all the time. And then when you start learning candlestick patterns and price action, then you learn,
Mhm.
wait for that next candle to open
Mhm.
higher, a wick that's showing you that it tried to sell off, but buyers brought it back up. Those type of things.
Yep.
Um, when I miss a play, I try to chase it and lose. That's another
Yep.
one I had said before.
Yep.
And then I put rules to always follow. Oh wow,
Mhm.
I gotta.
See, like,
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I know. See, like, I like this, Rob. See, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is how you succeed, honestly, right? So, like, you have to, you have to kind of know exactly what's going wrong, right? Like Rob, writing these notes is because he's kept track of something. Like, there's a reason why all these notes are in place, right? He's realizing that he's making the same mistakes over and over and over, right? So he's looking for ways to fix it, and that's how you succeed, like putting in that effort, right? So,
And it takes away the emotion, because
exactly.
then, or makes it worse when you don't follow your rules, and then you do, and you're like, damn it, like, it's right there. Why did I do it? You know what I mean? But you know what I
Exactly.
mean. It takes
Exactly.
away.
Yep.
I think identify the trade when I want to take it, stick to it.
Yep.
Oh, either long or, yeah, exactly. So stick to your trade. What I was just saying, I would never
Yep.
stick to my trade, because I would stay. I would cut the winners and then
Yep.
leave the losers longer. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
If all my indicators are green, price reach target, volume, cumulative down, all my things I watch,
Yep.
trust my strategy and
Yep.
take the play and set the stop loss.
Beautiful.
What
Isn't that
is
amazing?
about?
Isn't that what we just talked about?
So this is my what I should always follow. Study
Yep.
market structure, find supply and demand zones,
Hmm.
identify the trade I want to take and stick to it. That's what I just said. My
Hmm.
indicator. If I miss it, don't chase it. Wait
Yep.
for the next opportunity.
Yep.
If opportunity doesn't come, don't trade.
Yep. Don't.
How many times? Don't
Exactly.
trade, people. Don't
Yep.
trade. Just leave it. Like, are you? Do you want to lose money? Like, send it to
Yep.
me. I'll give you my
Exactly.
PayPal. Just send me the
Exactly.
money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, why are you gonna throw it away?
Yeah.
So if I miss it, don't chase it. Wait for the next opportunity. Don't trade.
Hmm.
Don't trade chopping. I put this in uppercase because I used to
Hmm.
do that a lot. Don't
Yep.
trade choppiness,
Yep.
even if you have to not trade at all that day. So if
Yep.
I see that there's choppiness the whole day, just leave it. Let it be. Wait for the next day to trade.
Exactly. Exactly.
When you This is funny. This is great. I missed this actually. When you reach your goal, turn off the charts and trade station. Don't continue to trade. I put that in uppercase to myself too.
Yeah.
Don't try to guess a breakout and get
Hmm.
in before any confirmations.
Yeah.
Better, before any confirmation, better you don't even try.
Yep.
Don't overtrade. If I hit a target loss, call it a day. So
Yep.
like in other words, my target loss for the day. So if
Yep.
my target loss for the day was $100 or 1,000. I hit
Yeah.
that target. I'm not
Yeah.
trading. I lost that day. I lost.
Exactly. Exactly.
Set my stop loss and possible targets and don't change it for nothing. I put.
Yeah.
If I guess if I was going long and it passed my stop loss
Yeah.
and it's going the opposite way, it's an indication enough that the play didn't go how you thought or
Yep.
wanted. So just get out.
Yep.
If it stops out, you're done.
Yep.
Pick my plays very carefully using my strategy so I am sure stop loss is good enough and I am not tempted to change. Exactly. And then
Yep.
remove the noise. This is my last one. Remove the noise, focus on my strategy indicator or whatever team I'm working with for a trade. Because
Yep.
sometimes you are working with people in the trade. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm watching this, folks. This, yeah, well, keep an eye on this and that. All right, I'm getting in here. Yeah, me too. Whatever. Well. So
Yep.
that's already like when I was already starting to trade more with you guys a bit. So
Yeah. See, that covers like everything, every mistake you could think of in the market. And what I will say is, if you look at anybody, well, again, we can look at Rob and say, yeah, Rob is successful because Rob is a genius. But if you look at someone like Rob, someone that you look up to, right, someone that you like to learn from, and you see the amount of effort that Rob is putting in to improve, right? I mean, like look at the notes, look at the failures, and look at the rules that So that's the type of effort you have to put in, right? So like we talk about journaling all the time. Like if what gets measured gets improved, right? If you're constantly making mistakes over and over, you might never know that, hey, like I'm making these mistakes, right? Unless you take them down, you write them down, and you tell yourself, you know what, like this, it seems like I keep buying at the highs, like I'm buying high and selling low. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Maybe I need to change this going forward, right? So, like, writing stuff down is really important, right? And then finding ways to see if you can fix those mistakes, and then going from there, which is
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I like your rules a lot, Rob.
Yeah, it's so funny because you were talking about it. You
Yep.
mentioned something. I said I used to. Yeah, I remember having my notes there, and I still have them there in one note. I should share it with the group. Maybe
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
those are
Yeah.
good. It's just, and it's
Question.
just like you said, it's just like you have to do that. You have to do it because if you take this seriously, then you have to put the time and effort. Like you
Yep.
have to put the time and effort. There's gonna be days, yeah, you're probably lucky, but luck.
Yep.
This is not a game of luck or chance. This is like you have to study and
Yep.
study and study and study. And I think I would never like we're never gonna know it all because the market is dynamic. There's gonna be a day where maybe you know support and resistance is no longer exist because now they're doing something different. I don't know, just to give a crazy example. I mean,
Yep.
but like the way the market is dynamic. There's now with AI and all these new algorithms going on. Trading is getting a little more intricate and but there's always going to be there's always going to be market structure, and that's what you have to understand. Once you
Yep.
understand that, you know what the market is trying to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Once you know what the market is trying to do, then you have to find your entries. So,
Exactly.
but I
Exactly.
think so I guess what's the Blaze? What would you say is the excuse me? What would you say is the like talking about everything we just spoke about, what do
Hmm.
you think is the common denominator to focus on the psychology based on everything we just spoke about?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
what is the common denominator that will
Yep.
help us make our psychological aspect of
Yep.
getting
Like
trades?
taking the emotions out of it, right?
What is it to you?
Simply just honestly having a plan,
Yeah,
right? Like just having a plan, somewhat of a plan, right? So like that knowledge, plus your mindset will shoot you to the send you in a rocket. I don't know what I'm trying to say, right? But like planning, right? You make a lot of mistakes, by not having the knowledge, but also like just not having a plan at all, right? And then you're caught up in emotions and things like that, and you're just, again, you're panicking and you're selling at the bottoms, you're FOMOing at the highs, right? You're just all over the place, right? So again, like, that education, that knowledge, and creating a plan to follow. I think, with that little chart we had up, like the smallest piece of the pie was what was it again, Rob? Something about
It's
your trading style or something, right? But
yeah, the
that's
smallest piece is the winning system actually.
the winning system, right?
Yeah,
So that's part of it. Like, all of that stuff goes together. Like having like a winning strategy, or any strategy for that matter. Honestly, somewhere to start, right? Like takes you away like from the emotions, which is yeah. So, did you have something else in mind, Rob?
no, actually, I think that was
Yeah,
yeah, that was it.
yeah. Is that what you were looking
One
for?
of my, I was just gonna put up the thing again. The
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, okay, sounds good.
one
Yeah, so again, like in the comments, we've talked about common mistakes. Rob has, given a few examples. If you feel like, again, like if you have any common mistakes that you've made in the past, right? Like put them in the comments section. Also, like this podcast will be based on like topics you guys want to learn about, right? So as Rob and I have conversations, and we will talk about these topics. So if there's a specific topic you're interested in, like common mistakes or this and that, something you want to learn, um, leave it in the comment section, and that might be our next topic, right? So, and again, just leave, maybe also just leave a comment as well if you've learned something, or if you think you found something in common with like some of the mistakes we've made, or if something resonated with you, like leave a comment, and then yeah, and then we
yeah,
will yeah, we will and you can also obviously we're going to be live on YouTube every day, so you can join us on there, or join us in the community as well. um,
exactly. You're live every day, so we have
ex-
while you're live, we're also trading in Discord and
exactly.
options, and there's the options channel, futures, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? Any psychological conclusions, Rob, before we call it an episode, or a stream, or whatever
Yeah,
we
no,
call
I
it?
think that was it. I think that was the conclusion that
Yeah.
that the common denominator is studying,
Hmm.
practice,
Hmm.
without real money in a way. If you're really starting, if you're starting off like from scratch,
Yeah.
learning from others, getting into a good group that can make you feel. I think that that's changed the game a lot in trading. That
Mhm.
than
Like just
before, you
yeah.
know, before there was not you couldn't really find places to really learn, and you had to like read books, and they were old and all this stuff. But now you have like all this technology and all this stuff, so use
Yeah.
it. Find the where you feel comfortable and learn and have a plan. Without that plan, so I think that was it. Hopefully
Yeah.
somebody can feel better after seeing this, and leave a comment like you said. And
Okay.
okay.
Well, I enjoyed this, Rob. We
Yeah.
would we will do a lot more of these.
There's so
So
much to talk about. There's so much that we can, yeah, we're gonna have so many things to talk about. So
exactly.
stay tuned. Hopefully we'll keep on, and it's gonna be good stuff coming ahead. So
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this, again, don't forget to hit the like as well. Share the link if you think someone that you think might learn from all of this, someone that's starting out, or you have all these friends that usually ask you like, oh, but I want to get into trading and this and that, right? This would be a perfect start for them, right? So send that to them, and thank you very much for listening, watching, and yeah, Rob.